I texted you something. You take a look at that real quick. Because I made a note for myself, then I realized I'm doing this, I'm not gonna be able to see it. So, genius planning, genius. All right, so do I have a marker?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, so let's talk about pricing first, since we are on that subject. So, one of probably the most important skill, if you come away with anything that I've said, probably the most important skill is your own self-audit.
Do you want that?
Yeah, please, okay. Thank you very much. So I was on a call yesterday, and for me, my trigger points are usually around being treated badly on a call, like not being respected, just nonsensical pushback. That after a few of those, I'll start to get irritated. Somebody who really does know more than me, but they didn't tell me that before the call. And it's like, actually SEO, King, this latest thing from Google, did you not read that report? That kind of challenge, that will really trigger, I'll get some real shakiness going on, some shake voice. So what I'm trying to do is, I'm trying to put myself in that position of like, if I'm on a call, similar to what you guys are at in the house, what will shake me, right? And so the reason it's important is if you only come away with this skill, like after that goes down, you're in your truck, you're about to leave to the next thing, take 5 minutes, literally 5 minutes, go to a parking lot somewhere and just sit with that and go, what came up for me? And like I was saying a minute ago, this is a recent skill that I have only just learned in the last 12 months. So you can use this in your relationships too, it works really well. So I'm dead serious. I'm about to give you some gold, so be ready. So in any relationship, when you see some conflict come up, especially for yourself, instead of going, when you do this, it makes me feel this, or even the lesser version of that, I feel this when you say that or do that, right? Instead of that, go, I'm noticing that when I experience this, you yelling at me, some insecurity's coming up for me, some anger's coming up for me. I'm curious about that. Say the words, I'm curious. There's a fundamental fact, you cannot be curious and angry at the same time. It's true in your brain. You're not able to. So if a customer's getting blustery at you, if somebody's pushing on you, go, I'm curious. When you say this word, what do you mean by that? Just that alone separates you from just about anybody they ever talk to, because almost nobody has this skill. It's so rare. That's why Chris Voss, we talked about Chris Voss before. Yeah. Chris Voss is so popular because he's talking about stuff that nobody has the skill of doing what he's doing. So for yourself, after every sales call, just take 5 minutes, start developing this habit, and go, I noticed this came up for me in this sales call. I got frustrated when they wouldn't listen to me. I got frustrated when they then they wouldn't listen to me. They kept interrupting me, right? Frustration came up. Well, what's that about? I'm curious about that. If you just do that inside your own mind, a little motor will start and your subconscious will actually start working on it. But if you say, that customer made me mad because they did this thing, I hate it when people do that, and you drive away, what you've done is you've just defined that into its own little cyst in your brain. Your brain's not going to work on that. You didn't give it anything to work on. This happened, this is why, I'm going to move on. The reason this is so important is because the money is where the emotion is. So when the pricing comes in, and when collection comes in, I saw more resistance in this room talking about collections than I've seen in the entire time I've been here. Why? Because you have emotions about collecting money. Everybody does. It's normal and natural. There's two things going on. Number one, you have your own money that's going to sit in your pocket and pay for your tires on your truck and the new TV that you want and whatever it is that your wife or significant other wants, right? And on the other side, you've got the discomfort of asking people for money, even though you've worked for it. So all that emotion is in there. So even in that, if you go, I'm curious, I noticed this thing's coming up for me. Today when we talked about collections, I noticed this came up for me, this emotion, this resistance, this fear, this pushback, whatever it is. I noticed that, I'm curious about that. And if that's all you do, your life is gonna get a lot better. It has been transformative for me, and I've been in the game for 30 years. It feels weird to be old enough to have been doing anything for 30 years as an adult.
You're still doing it, Carl.
I turned 55 on Saturday. It's ridiculous. That should not
Happy
be possible.
birthday.
Happy birthday for Saturday.
That's what it was for. I was
birthday.
fishing for happy birthdays.
Yeah, you got it.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, exactly. When? So in pricing, yeah. So let's do a little exercise then. In pricing, I've talked about shadowing high. How do you feel about that? I would really love to hear any negative thing you have to say about that. I'm dead serious about that.
No, I whenever they ask for a ballpark, I always try and,
That's what I
when I do get one, I try and make it higher than what I think, I mean, obviously than what I think it's
Yeah.
gonna be.
Okay, so you're cool with it.
Cause I just don't wanna I don't wanna come in, give them
the
the wrong
worst.
number and
It's
then
the
come in and
worst.
be higher.
Yeah, yeah. So everybody feels good with that? Cool.
Well,
Would you
I
throw
would-
me that water, please?
I would go a step further, or maybe a step backwards. We went out together last Friday on that bid with Reggie, who was a great character in the end. The guy was in sales, big black dude, opened the door, and there was a palpable tension there. He's very cold, very
Yep.
to start with. He wasn't thrilled about me being there or the whole situation. But once we got talking about Stax and Motown, because Kyle called out something these were on the bookshelf, great, he opened up and we were talking about that, and it really broke down the barriers. And I will say it was a totally different experience for someone who's done this a while to actually say, hey, is it okay, I'm going to go out and I'm just going to crunch some numbers in the truck. He was in sales, he told us that, so he probably knew what we were doing, but it didn't matter. But when I came back in and presented to him the actual two different options, it was a whole different proposal. It's not like any of the bids that we have all been on together, because I've been on bids with each of you. It's a whole different thing. So then, so when we talk about throwing out the money numbers, it's just different. I used to have a hard rule. I would never ballpark with clients and say, I don't want to build you up or knock you down. You're gonna have to wait. I'll get it to you this afternoon.
Yep. Well, and that goes back to the discussion we had last time, and I want to push on this a little bit harder. You guys are all character-based sellers. You are consultative sellers. You're driven by integrity and delivering value for the customer, and you absolutely will not short a customer. Did anybody disagree with that, other than Riley? Sorry, bro.
Oh,
You
Daniels.
I haven't even said shit today.
You just set yourself up as a target, and it works so well. It's like every time, every time.
Dish it, I can take it.
Yeah. So, what I think I see, and you can tell me if you think I'm wrong. I would like to hear that. What I think I see is there are your own straw men that you've set up, essentially in your own minds. That if I do this, my personal virtue of this, however you want to define that stack of things I just said, whatever you want to call that. Let's call it value-based selling, like consumer first driven selling. Let's call it that, consumer first driven selling, because I'm going to talk about value in a minute. I don't want to confuse that. If I do X, it's going to compromise my virtue that I hold highly of consumer first selling. That's what I think I see happening. Because last time
I'm worried about it.
yeah, I think this is going to happen. If the customer's not giving you that feedback, then you at least, at a minimum, you're almost guaranteed to have it wrong half the time. Because what's happening is something you're afraid of, you're already in motion again. You're afraid this thing's going to happen, so you don't do it. But you're doing it on your own experience and not the customer's experience. So if you know you're not lying to the customer and cheating the customer, then I would broaden your willingness to try to do new things. Okay? So like the idea of separating the production, the giving of the price by going out to the vehicle. I know there was some discomfort with that at first. And so just that, and like why is that discomfort there? Here we are again. I notice this is coming up for me. I'm curious, why is that? Okay? So like anytime you have resistance to anything, I'm curious, why is that coming up?
Yeah.
Just that activity, it breeds all kinds of positive benefits.
I will say real quick, when I look back at the experience with Reggie, and you had to leave during the sort of the reveal, if you will. When I saw him doing all this kind of thing, sitting in the chair, and we were talking about different peering systems, and he was crunching it, and I can tell he was happy I was there to talk him through it.
Yes.
I did feel like, well, it's a good job I'm here to talk you through these numbers, because you want to talk about it. He wanted to compare mine to Centex, because they were talking about a different peer system, and it was very different proposals. So together we worked out he needed to get a third party bid in. He needed to get another one in to make sure I wasn't a liar and they're not,
Yeah. Well, there's very specific things that have happened in each one of your sales that I've been on that you guys have not used. Now, you might have recognized it, but you didn't use it. In this case, Simon, he said early on, he goes, he was very resistant, like you said. I noticed that immediately, like, wow. Either he doesn't like people, or we've interrupted something, or something happened with the previous company. That was my first observation, walking in the door. And then he goes, we were at the backyard, and we said something. I think you asked, have you had anybody else out, or you've probably had some other people out. That's a great straw man, by the way. If you're a smart homeowner, you're like most of my customers, you've probably had at least 2 other people out before us. Pause. Then move on. But you're gonna get a response there. He said something like that, and he goes, that's why you're here. And he said it like that. I was like, okay, that's why. That's why he was resistant to us at the beginning. He had a bad experience with somebody else. He's ticked off. He feels like he's being taken advantage of. And now he's double checking with us. So that's where you go, oh, really? Answer the emotion that you're being sent. Answer that.
To try to get him to talk it out a bit more.
Whatever. It's basically, he's giving you a package of like hot potatoes. Think of like a delivery bag, whatever they call those bags, that are those insulated bags they deliver pizzas in. He's giving that to you. And right now, what you guys are doing is you're going, oh, that's nice, click. Now, I'm not going to say it describes it.
What about pizza?
Instead, let's go, open the Velcro thing, go, oh, this is interesting. What's in here? Let's unpack this. Oh, tell me more about that. They're giving that to you, and they want to be heard. You remember how the magician guy, I couldn't even follow you around, because once I said anything about his magic.
Oh man, he was all about it.
And dude, he's high level. He knew Ricky Jay like really well. I don't know if you know who Ricky Jay is, but Ricky Jay was like world class level.
BradShepard.com. I went and checked his.
Did you check it out?
Yeah, he's the real deal.
Matt Shepard, is it?
Brad Shepard.
Is your client?
Yeah.
Well, he had like 30 doctored card decks there, and just sitting in his living room in a pile.
Jeez, man.
But you couldn't even imagine. I mean, who was it? Yours. This one flipped it. I didn't think I would see one. And in this brief encounter, I've been in 8 houses with you guys, and in 2 houses I've seen more than I've ever seen in my entire life. This guy had a 6'5" grizzly, stuffed grizzly.
Awesome.
He had stuff all around. He had like fake dead babies and stuff. And I mean,
No way.
it
I
was all like
a taxidermy cat. I was like, oh shit, that's a taxidermy cat.
Why are you petting it?
What's his name?
Brad Shepard.
Brad
Are you
Shepard.
doing the job?
Oh, the cat.
And by the way, Simon, did that one close, or did they? As far as,
Reggie, no, I left him a message today.
okay, so we're still following up. That'll be interesting to hear.
Yeah.
I think you bring up a really good point, Kyle. Is address the emotion, right? Don't veer away from it. We're all emotional creatures. We base most of our decisions on emotion. Trust is an emotion. It's not a data point. Your price is a data point. To your point, you garnered the trust, and being able to walk him around and show him you're the expert. He feels that he can trust you because you were able to walk around and do that. You built that rapport. So it's an emotional, and that goes back to that. So if you see or you feel the frustration, you call it out. It's like, wow, okay, so it seems like you're pretty frustrated with the way you were treated or the price that you were given.
You can find that out whenever I talk to the client on the phone. When I've been answering the phones, I had a client like, I just need to get an estimate, like I know my house is shifting, and I knew something was like, I have to get plumbing involved, and I was like, oh, do you mind telling me what happened? And he's like, well, I think something happened with the plumbing that it made my house shift, and he just went on with this whole thing. He's like, he like literally, you know me, I love to talk, and I love to like, what happened? Oh my God, he's like, and I was like, look, we're about 2 weeks out. He goes, I don't care, just schedule me in. He goes, I already, he's like, I appreciate you, thank you for listening, and like all this stuff, and it was such a like,
An emotional dump.
Oh yeah, for me, I don't care. I mean, I'll listen, and I'll tell him, hey, is your insurance gonna cover it? What's gonna happen? And he's like, oh, I didn't know that. And I was like, it never hurts to ask. I said, go ahead and call. They can either say yes or no, but at least you have it covered.
Right.
And he's like, oh, thank you, like, you know. I mean, that's me when I answer the phones. I get people's lives like in 5 seconds.
They want to talk to you through the emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And think of it, it's valuable information that they're hoping you ask them more, like, oh wow, yeah, seems like, feels like, you get to that, because then they're going to feed you more information. It may not be, yeah, they give me a price and it's $200,000 or $50,000. He may not give you the exact price, but it'll give you a sense of, oh well, he feels frustrated, and you call that out. He may actually give you the price. He or she may volunteer that. Well, can you take a look at this quote, because I don't feel that I've been treated fairly. That's when you know you have that trust. You can close that deal easily in that sense, because they trust you. I'm sorry, did we
No,
steal the thunder?
no problem, no problem. So like, going back to Simon's, when this guy goes, that's why you're here, especially when they say it like that, you know, then it's like, oh, sound like you've had a rough go of this. You know, when your lady, who redid her whole thing, towards the end of it, she really, my feeling of it is she wanted to move very fast. She was tired of it, she was done with all the problems. She had a lot of emotion around that. So when at some point she's like, well, we gotta do something. Oh yeah, tell me about that. Is that sounds like you're wanting to move faster on this, or am I wrong? You can always throw out, am I wrong? Am I on the wrong track? Is it something else? You can label anything. Reggie, you look like a man do you sound like a man who wants to do this immediately? Or am I way off track?
Yeah.
A lot of times somebody will want to correct you and you can give them the opportunity.
And then they'll talk. Yeah.
Yeah, anything that it's like rolling a stone downhill. You get it started, they're not gonna wanna stop.
Yeah.
Because nobody's listen, in sales, nobody listens. Nobody. I get approached every day, and this guy, the other day, he calls me, and he's trying to use a super casual, which is a really popular phone script right now. The super casual is like, hey Zach, how's it going? This is Kyle over here, and you know, that's a super casual. The problem is he wouldn't give me any information. So it's like, hey Kyle, this is Ryan over here. I was just reaching back out. It's like,
Yeah.
about what?
Come on, man.
Yeah. So, you know, if you just use an approach and you don't have your targets in mind, then this isn't going to do anything. And you're going to say, yeah, the stuff Kyle's talked about doesn't work. But if you're always talking about value, which we're about to get to in a moment, but I want the last thing I want to say about the emotion is customer, you're in their home. It's the most precious thing to them. It's unless you're dealing with a rental or somebody we were going out as a brother or something was going to meet us, you know, that's not his place, you know, you're not going to get into them. But if it's the homeowner, man, and just like Reggie, you got a sales pro here.
Yeah.
And he's a big, intimidating dude, but his emotions are involved in what's going on.
Yeah.
Because it's the most precious thing to him. So they're going to give it to you.
Real quick.
Put it on speaker.
Real quick, the line, I think about it now, back to when he said, yeah, the reason you're here, that's why the reason you're here. I said to him, as we were walking around the back, he was unlocking the gate to me, I said, do you have any elevations of where the house was so
That's
I can
right.
compare
That's
an
right.
A to
That's
B? And I realize now that should be, we should always ask that, because
Yep.
then right away he's gonna be like, well, I do, you know, I just had those done, you know. And I was able to say like, well, obviously I'm gonna get my own. I don't want you to show me those if it's from a previous company, so we can compare, you know. But it was a great way to find out if he's actually had somebody out recently, or it could have been we had someone look at it 2 years ago. And, like, you're getting all that information.
That also tells you where they are, like experience-wise, like and
Yeah.
it can skew how much information you need to put in the presentation. But the last thing I was going to say about him is when you sat down with him, the reason everything changed is now you're getting down to, I mean, we used to call it the rat killing. That's not politically correct anymore, but
The numbers.
now he's about to find out whether he's got to pay a bunch of money to keep his house intact.
Yeah.
And that's, if you notice, it really changed when it was like, we're not going to do this halfway. We got to drill through the diamond.
Yeah, he didn't want to see a non-interior theory. The back half of his house was dropping off, and he wanted to do all of it.
Well, he wanted to, but he also knows what he's biting off.
Yeah.
And that really bothered him. That he was going to have to drill through the tile floors that they just laid. They just did this. And so that's part of the emotion. And so if you can take that next step, now this is not overnight stuff. Like Riley, when we were talking, and you were like, there's just so much, man, I don't even know what to, just take one thing at a time. But if you can get to the point where it's like, man, I totally get it. I know you just laid these floors. I hate to be the one to tell you this, but I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't. You know, what are you thinking? It seems like it's really frustrating. And just let them talk about it. Because you'll also get to other things that are under there that they don't even plan on telling you. But when that emotion starts coming out, they're gonna tell you. And it's not about manipulating them. But once you can make someone feel heard, what you're actually doing in this process is you're actually doing customer first sales.
Yeah.
Because you're hearing them when nobody else will. Okay? All right, so I want to leave that. Any questions about that? So just remember, just start using these 4 phrases: seems like, sounds like, feels like, looks like. Just start using these all the time. Okay, like literally all the time, every phone call. Because I told you guys this the first time that I would be shocked if you remembered it. These are transparent phrases. And what I mean by that is people don't hear you using them. Because what happens is they've got a cocked, loaded weapon. Think about a drawn bow. They've got a drawn bow. They're looking for a reason to let it go. And they don't care why. You give them a reason. Sounds like that hurts a lot. Ding, it hurts so much. They're waiting. They're hoping that they get to let this bow go. And they don't care what gives them permission to do it. They will not notice you're saying it. I promise. Start using it in your relationships. Sounds like, feels like, seems like, looks like. Start using it in your relationship. I promise you what's going to happen is they will not hear it. I'll tell you how transparent it is. I teach this stuff all the time. I was in a class and the guy goes, sounds like blah, blah, blah. And I said, yeah, exactly. And I just went on because I'm like, yeah, he gets it. And when he was using it on me and I didn't even hear it.
You said use it in your relationships. Is there anything that does the opposite and that shuts them up?
Thinking that they need to shut up.
Well, they have
It's
to
a bad place to
vent.
do that.
Get them through that venting.
Oh shit, he's
period.
recording this.
Yeah.
It's okay, you're low on battery. Carl.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Hopefully the battery shut down.
Camera broke.
Hey, but I will tell you, I use it in my marriage, and it's not that I'm trying to be manipulative. It's I want my wife to open up. You know, sometimes people need that permission to open up, and they want someone to hear them. Personal relationship, or if they're buying, it's the same thing.
Yeah, we've all been there. You don't know what to say, right? Especially when it's male female. It's like, you got lost halfway through, you don't even know where this is ending up, and it's like, I just was on my way to get a sandwich, and all I want is a sandwich. And now they go, and don't you agree? And it's like, sounds like, enter the emotion that you see. Sounds like you're feeling a lot of this. Get ready, because it's about to happen again. Yeah, but they feel hurt. They feel hurt, and it's powerfully effective. So yeah. Were you going to say something?
No.
Okay, all right, perfect. So now let's talk about value. I want to start, the reason I didn't release this, I want to touch back on what we talked about last time. Can I trust, as I was thinking about this, there's 3 layers to this, at least. What do you call the guys who go out and do the thing? Techs. I'm just going to call them techs for now. So there's kind of 3 layers to this. The company first, but when you guys go out there, that's already happened. The fact that they ever called QFR means they at least trust you that much. Now the next thing is, this is when you're walking in the house and they're trying to get this question answered, can I trust this company? I trusted the first layer, second layer, and they're all horror stories. The last news thing, guy ripped somebody's head off and ate it, you know. They're like, are they gonna hurt my kids? Are they gonna hurt my pets? Are they gonna damage my house? You know. And then the final is when your team goes out there, you know, but you're existing here. And so you're wanting to communicate. And this is why consistency and making sure you communicate the same things every time matters so much. Because when you do it the same way every time, you never get rattled. You know, I've been with you where a customer literally came out of the door starting to point at things. I've been with you where a customer, you know, took a big step back and like basically was hands off straight through. I've been with you, was super resistant at the door. But if you do things consistently the same way every time, you always make sure you hit these bases. Then you never get pushed off base and you never get pushed off track, and you make sure you communicate the value every time. So I want to start this section with that phrase. Value is not valued unless it's communicated. Does anybody disagree with that? Okay, so tell me what that means for you. Like when you hear that, value is not value until it's
Well, it just needs
communicated.
to be defined to the client.
Yeah, by
Yeah.
what? Give me an example.
I mean, a physical example, like our steel piers, like,
Yeah.
you know, we need to explain to them the value of this steel pier,
Mm-hmm.
and it needs to be defined to them.
Because it goes down, penetrates the soil,
Right.
removes the soil from the equation, there's the value.
Yeah, so it becomes value. Now the value was there. If you never said it, was the value there in literal real terms?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
right? But the customer doesn't perceive it as value because it hasn't been defined, right? So that was one of the things I sent you is definition is value. Communication itself is value. That's what you're hearing about. Nobody else took the time. Just the fact that you communicated in an organized way, and you guys already do that really well. Like I've told all four of you, you're already winning. I'm just here to help you win more. That's what this is going to do for you. It's just going to help you win more, okay? So now, when you're in the home and you begin to communicate these things, then you're going to get really consistent, and that's going to make you more effective. So value isn't value until it's communicated. The best way that I know to communicate value is the because and that's why chain. Okay, because soil moves so much in Round Rock, Mr. Smith, it causes houses to crack. We want to keep your house from breaking. That's why we use steel piers. We don't use, and that's why we don't use concrete piers. Concrete piers are inferior. A lot of companies will pitch them to you because they're cheaper, but they tear your yard up more and they're inferior long term. They're not going to give you. Do you see the way my emotional state changed? I'm regretting that somebody's going to pitch you an inferior pier. That's why we use concrete pier, because we know we can stand behind them. It's going to give you a better long-term product. Okay, so you're because and that's why you're constantly going because and that's why constantly because the why because your brain has the ability to hang concepts on the phrase that's why. Okay,
It's a fact if you've said it.
well, there's a
Especially if you have an
problem.
English accent.
There's a problem. Then there's a solution.
Right.
There's a problem, my house is cracking, I'm afraid it's gonna break. Here's a solution. Why is this a solution? Well, that's why. Why do they do things the way they do? That's why. Why do they not sell things this way? That's why. Why do they not quote at this rate? That's why. And this will communicate value in a much clearer way for you. Okay? You have to explain less when you use these phrases. We talked about jargon last time. Anytime you use jargon, try to mark it down. And a good way to do that is just pitch among yourselves. Like, just, every time you do your weekly meeting, take a piece and go, Marco, pitch me. You're sitting down with the price. Go with the price and give me your pitch on price. And then all of you kind of take that and learn from it, but also call out any jargon that you hear. If it's not clear to a client, then they're not going to understand it. And it's so hard not to do. So hard not to do. But I don't know if I told you about Power Remodeling before. Did I tell you about that? It's a company that I worked for a little while. They're the largest remodeling company in the nation. And they don't do any advertising. That's why you don't know who they are. They have, I think to date, they're at 20,000 sales reps. Yeah. Yeah. And every one of them use the same script.
Wow.
And they're so dedicated about it that their management team shadows. Every management person shadows. And they will pitch. So you're actually shadowing them, and they use the same script. They're more scripted than the line salespeople are
Wow.
because they're modeling it. And one of the guys told me, they said, I could do some off-script stuff, but I'm modeling for you, so I need to show you this is the script actually works. Because that's the first belief of a good salesperson is I don't need a script. Scripts suck. I've got my own system. I know how to do it. I don't need to use a script. And it works when you're consistent. You get consistent results, and you know why. Okay, so let's talk about value. So we're calling this customer first. Selling. Is that okay with everybody? Is that a good definition?
Yeah.
Okay. So if we're calling our process customer first selling, let's talk about some of the things we deliver with that. What do we do and what do we not do? What are some of the things we don't do? Sleep during the meeting.
I'm not sleeping.
You're getting there. Took your hat off, getting comfortable.
Need my energy drink.
We don't oversell jobs. We don't
Never oversell.
We need to. Yeah.
Okay.
Or undersell. spread our piers out too far or do less work, then we'll stabilize the home.
Undersell?
Yeah, both over and undersell.
Alright. Okay, anybody else? I mean, there's some easy ones. We never lie. Let's just do lie, cheat, steal.
Unless they have like terrible taste in their house, it's all like gaudy and crap or something. I still say, oh, it's a beautiful home. That's the most I do.
You can say that in a house. I never lie to a customer unless they've got something really gaudy. I say, oh, that's really wonderful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
It's interesting.
I love the
That's
noise.
literally
Yeah,
face.
yeah.
Oh, how interesting.
Okay, so what's so never and always? What's some never and always things we do? We always deliver fair prices.
Right, right now we do.
Well, right now they're more than fair.
Yeah, more than fair. I've seen the numbers.
Transparent. I think we always try to educate the clients. We try to explain things so they can understand it.
Do you mind giving me your password?
No, it's 3181. I don't mind giving it to you. It's all these other jokers I don't like.
And you just put it on record, assuming I'm pulling out battery.
Remember the comment I made yesterday? You want to see a guy sweat bullets. He handed his phone to his girlfriend. Yeah.
Both of his phones, you
Yeah.
said.
Riley's like, oh man, I've been called
I
out.
don't have a
again."
girlfriend. I'm gonna worry about it. But I've been in that position before.
Okay. So we talked about value is not value until it's communicated, right? So we'll talk a little bit more about this. There's things we always do, some things we never do. We never undersell, we never oversell, we never lie, cheat, and steal. We'll always deliver fair prices, we always educate. The reason I stopped here is definitions, value. This is, you guys need a lot of this. Use even though you're not using jargon, you're using industry terms. I think probably the biggest thing that I see missing is you don't define the difference between concrete and a steel pier consistently. And even then, the customer still doesn't understand it because there's nothing visual. And that's where I think a visual handout
Oh yeah.
is gold. I mean, it's gold. And the time you do it is between your first assessment, when you find the high point, and then when you do the exterior. You say, I'm gonna go do the exterior, your exterior, well, it's after you get your levels. You do your high point, then you do your levels, right?
So when we're going out to the truck to put the numbers together, then
No.
you give it to them?
No, so you do the high point, you find your high point,
Yeah.
then you do your level, what do you call it, deflections?
Take elevations.
Take elevations, okay. Then you go do your exterior inspection, right?
No, we've already taken the measurements around the outside first.
Well,
Before you do
on
your-
a pier and beam, you go outside, then inside, wall loads, elevations, then we'll go back outside to go underneath. But on the slab, it's just outside and then inside.
Okay, so you do outside inspection first.
Outside inspection first.
Okay,
pier
then
and
what
beam.
you would do then is, so you don't carry the line level in first then? You don't?
Say that one more time?
The line level, I'm calling it the
No,
line
The
level.
zip level.
Zip level, yeah. You don't.
No, we take the measurements outside first of the house, out of the perimeter of the house.
So you go
I
inside.
mean, I'll walk up to the door with my zip level, my iPad.
Yeah, but you
and
leave it
tape,
outside.
And I'll, depending on, the interaction at first, typically nowadays, I'll go inside and I'll walk through the whole house with the homeowner. I'll either leave my zip level on the front porch or I'll just take it right inside the front door.
But then you say, you go inside and look at the damage.
And then I'll
Then you
tell
say,
them
I'm gonna
my
go
order of
outside.
operations are.
Okay,
Yeah.
then that's when you give them the piece. And my strong recommendation, two-sided, laminated, full color, illustration, industry terms, pier, slab, pier and beam, whatever terms you're using that are the most common. And I think you should do, on the back of it, it should be why we don't use concrete piers, why we use steel piers. And it should be like 8.5 by 11, half of it should be, we don't use concrete piers because of these things, and give like a 3-column, like they break, they shift, whatever it is,
Yeah.
you know what they are. And the bottom home, we do use steel piers, so it's a red, green, right? Emergency X's, we don't use this. Green check marks, those are visual cues. we do use. So now, while you're outside, your customer's occupied with what, again, definition, education, and process are all value. You're communicating value. Take a look at that for me. Please read this because it has really important information. It will make this a lot shorter.
There will be questions.
Right. Well, you're really saying that what you want to do is you want to put the customer in a position of you're the teacher, they're the student. Hey Simon, I'm going to go outside now. I've taken a look at the cracks in the home. I think I understand a little bit of what's going on. I'm going to do my exterior inspection. Take this for me. This is yours to keep. We leave this with all of our customers because we want you to understand what we're going to be doing when we fix your home, if it's needed, okay? Please do read over it because I'm going to reference a lot of this when I come back inside when we do the final presentation, and it will make things a lot shorter for you. Things will be better for you if you read over this. That's what I'm trying to communicate. Now, go outside, take my measurements, come back inside. Okay, and this is another place where if you want to smash home runs, this is the place to smash 2 home runs. Okay, I'm going to use this zip level. Is that okay with you? I'm going to need to move it about the house. Is that okay? Okay, perfect. So I need to tell you about this really quickly. This cost, how much do they cost?
800.
Okay, this cost almost $1,000, and the reason we use this instead of what a lot of other people use, which is I don't know, is because we're willing to invest in this because this gives us exact measurements to within whatever the tolerances are. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find the highest point in your home. Okay, that's going to require me to move about your home. Do I have freedom to do that? Okay, perfect. So when I do that, I'm going to be able to find the high point, and then I'll be able to measure if we've actually got a problem here. And this is another definition point. What the acceptable limits in whatever governing body, whatever it is, whatever association, whatever gives us status to say, the acceptable limits is from 0 to whatever it is it 3/4 of an inch? Deflection?
Within an inch within 20 feet.
An inch over 20 feet? Okay, so an inch over 20 feet. And what that means is from here, probably to over to that wall over there, it would drop an inch or less. That's what I'm hoping to find. I'm hoping you don't even have a problem, okay? But this zip level is gonna allow me to find the high point, then I'm gonna find your deflections, okay? So then you go around and do the thing. Now, okay, Mr. Customer, I'm about to now start checking for deflections. This is the part that I was telling you before. This is gonna tell me if you got a problem or not, okay? The one thing that's really critical that I need to ask from you, and I hate to ask you this in your own house, but I need nobody to bump this. So it's a very precise instrument, I need nobody to move it. Is that okay? Is that possible? Okay, perfect. Now you're going to do this thing, but that lets them know, hey, this is not a joke, it's not, and that's the thing, that's the value that you guys are leaving on the table right now, is that you don't explain how big of a deal this is. This process that you're going through is very precise, it takes time, and we do it because we know for sure we can do
So don't underplay it, like, hey, it's better if you don't knock the tube, otherwise it kind of messes with the readings, but be kind of more serious, matter of fact about it.
Yeah, you're in a system of value exchange when you walk into somebody's house. You're exchanging your expertise for their letting you in the house. So the more clearly you define that and explain it and ask for permission and put boundaries around it, the clearer it's going to go, the more in charge you're going to be in the process, and you're also going to know like what you're dealing with people. Like if somebody is a pushy person, like if you were in my brother's house, he would automatically start pushing back on you. That's just the way he is. And so now you know what you got. When you finally sit down for numbers, you know what you got. That person's going to push back on
But
you.
you're building credibility if you say this is what
That's
we're
it.
doing.
Absolutely. And you're defining it because you're defining what this piece of equipment does, and you're setting yourself apart from all the other people who didn't do that, right?
I usually tell them that on the phone though.
They don't
Don't touch
Yeah,
the zip
they don't-
level?
No,
Okay,
I'm not
let me
touching
give you an
it,
example. Let me give you an example. I'm going to call you. Hey, Joe, Simon is hiring me to do local SEO. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be sending citations. Now these are tier 2 citations, they're not tier 1. And the difference is with tier 2 citations, Google doesn't take those as seriously. So after we do that, they're going to slam those with PBNs, and that's going to give you ranking top 3 across the board for both your locations. I told you. But so there's a saying, I told you, I can tell you what I gave you, I can't tell you what you received. And it goes the other way around. I can tell you what I just received from you, but I can't tell you what you actually said. So that's true in all communication. Every communication you ever do, whether you're ordering coffee or in peers, there's a system that passes between two people. And when like the fight that happened, that was a communication. One guy heard, I'm gonna punch you in the face. And the other guy was saying, I don't know what to do, right? So it's the same thing. You tell them, but there's a Baptist preacher thing. You tell them what you're gonna tell them, then you tell them what you told them. Because people can't absorb it. I told you guys all kinds of things the first week I was here. Who remembers it? Right, because it's different stuff. It's not stuff you do. I can tell you because I've said it 1,000 times. You can remember it because you've said it 1,000 times, and you train these guys. So you know what you know, but it's that gap. It's like an air gap. It's like an insulation gap. You can't get from there to here. There's no bus. So you just got to keep repeating, right? So I'm not saying you're not telling them. I'm just saying they're not hearing it. Then they see the thing in person. I mean, look, I've been around construction my whole life. First time you guys pulled it up, I'm like, why do they have an extension cord here? When I know things, right? Yeah. So you wanted to find, this is what we're doing. This is the next step. Again, it's just like children. If you tell children an hour ahead of time, you tell them 30 minutes ahead of time, you tell them 15 minutes ahead of time, and you tell them 5 minutes ahead of time, you're gonna have a better result. Same thing with the customer. Hey, this is what we're gonna do, then we're gonna do this and this. Hey, this is that next step, step 2. And after this, it'll be 3 and 4. This is step 3. We've already done 1 and 2. Now we're gonna be doing this. And they're gonna feel really taken care of when you do that. Okay? So, value, definition, this is where the handout comes in. So process, you walk up to the door, hey Mr. Customer, what brings us out today? Oh, we have this and this and this. React emotionally to what they say. Well, we got this crack, we just did this remodeling. Oh man, that really stinks. So you just finished remodeling? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you're having this out because you kind of want to make sure this isn't going to keep going on. Yeah, exactly. You don't want all, and a phrase I came up with, I don't know what you guys think about this. When you're ready to, when you're in the middle of somewhere in there, there's something like, look, it looks like maybe your house is cracked. We don't want it to break. How do you like that? I also like say no to crack, but that probably comes from my
the cracks.
yeah. But you want to. That makes a lot of sense to me as a homeowner. That makes a lot of sense to say, oh, my house is cracked. I don't want it to break.
There's got to be some kind of phrase because there is a point. You know, we see it all the time when houses shift to a point. You don't want it to keep going. The risk of plumbing damage. There's a whole. We can talk. All of us could talk for an hour on that subject. So yeah, having a one concise phrase. I don't know if that's the one, but yeah, we should think about that.
Well, something that will wrap in the damages needs to be in there somewhere. Something like, yeah, Mr. Homeowner, is this your first time? And depending on the customer, you kind of vary a little bit. If they say, yeah, I've never had this happen before, I'm freaking out. Yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from. You don't want the plumbing breaks that you hear about because then that washes out your foundation. Now you have massive problems. You don't want, your brick to keep breaking and falling off your house like you're seeing right now. And that's all the things that we see typically if things get worse, And so you're pitching, again, this is the value. This is what you're providing them is safety. Right? You're securing my home for the long term. Yeah. So process is value. So think about the things that motivate you. Like I told you guys before, the thing that stood out to me when I first rode around with you is all 3 of you, without me asking you to, you all 3 told me, I like working here because Simon doesn't force us to sell jobs that are not the right thing to do. You all 3 told me that. So right there, right out of the box, you've got a massive value. I would build that into your presentation. One of the reasons I love working at this company is my boss doesn't ask me to sell a job that doesn't need to be sold. If you don't have a problem, it's great. I'm going to give you a clean bill of health and we'll part friends, something like that. So just be thinking of like values that you can add in. So the process, that's where I lost a little bit. So walk up the door, ding dong, yeah, what problem do you have? What brought us out today? Oh, let me show you. Okay, great. Walk in the house, nice dog, nice cat, nice painting. Tell me about that. Some kind of rapport building, right? Mm-hmm. Somewhere in this process, after they show you, yes, here are the cracks, and you go, oh, yeah, I don't want that. You interact with all that. Somewhere while you're still in the house needs to be, okay, I'm about to go and do the exterior inspection. Let me just take 2 quick minutes to tell you a little about who we are. Okay, we're family owned and operated, been in Austin 15 years. We only use our own crews. All of our crews are background check, whatever all of it is. Quickly, and I would have this on handout as well. Because you're gonna tell them that, then you're gonna hand them 2 pieces of collateral. And they're gonna back up everything you just said, because they're not gonna remember, right? Just remember, nobody's gonna remember anything. They know the stew's in the oven, the kid's about to get off school, they've got the report that they've got to get to their boss before they go pick up their kid. That's what they're thinking about. So when you put this in their hand, they heard it, now they're reading it, now you've got something. They're gonna remember this. You can check out our reviews, you know, we're 500 reviews, 4 stars, whatever it is. Okay, great. Any questions on that before I go outside? Okay, great. I'm gonna go ahead and go outside and do my exterior inspection. After that, I'll need to come back in, and you guys, I think all 3 of you do a good job on this. I'm gonna need to come back in. The question I always like to ask is, do I need to knock again, or do you want me to just come in? Because that tells you where you are on a level of trust. Some people don't like to do that, it's up to you. But I like that question, because it just tells you where you're at with the customer. Okay, great. You go do your exterior inspection, take a look at that. Please read this, because this will make the end process a lot faster if you understand these concepts. That bakes in probably they're gonna read it, because they wanna save time, right? They want this to be shorter, right? Exterior inspection, perfect, this and that. Anything you need to, you mark that out, come back in, knock or go in. Now you're inside, and okay, great. I've got this is our zip level. The reason we use this, Mr. Customer, is because we found over time that we needed to invest in this kind of technology because it enables us to give you more precise measurements. This tool will measure within whatever it is. I think you said a 1/10 of an inch. Yeah, within a 1/10 of an inch. And what we're looking for is anything below 1 inch over 20 feet. And what that means is like here and find someplace that's 20 feet across. If we're less than 20, with 1 inch fall from here to there, then you get a clean bill of health and you got no problems, okay? Any questions before I start? Am I free to go with the whole house? Great. So you do your high point, then you come back, okay, this is our high point. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna do the deflection. Now this takes a little bit longer, and 30% of the houses we inspect don't even have a problem. But the reason we're willing to invest this time is because, again, we know for a certainty we can deliver you a clean bill of health if you don't have a problem, right? Okay, am I free to move about the house? Yes. Okay, one last thing. I just need to make sure that nobody bumps this or moves it because it's a very precise instrument. You okay with that? Okay, perfect. Now you can move around, do your whole thing, do all your falls and everything, comment on the cowboy pictures, whatever it is, or all the dead animals on the walls. And now you come back, okay, great, I think I understand, we've got this, whatever the system is. Now we've invested in this system because, again, what we want to be able to do is when I leave this house, Marco, I want to be able to hand you a clean bill of health, and I want you to have a visual representation of exactly what's going on with your home, okay? And so what I'm about to do now is I'm going to go out to my vehicle, I'm going to double check all my numbers. I think I know where we're at, and just to give you a little bit of a heads up, I can see this going as high as maybe 32,000, and that's because of all this problem that we've seen, like you talked about on the back of your house. There's a lot of cracking back there, and what I noticed is the consistency from one side to the other. There's heavy cracking over there, there's mortar breaking, you've got window cracks, whatever you want, you know, whatever terminology there. And so let me go double check, and I want to make sure of my numbers, and then it should take me 10 to 15 minutes. And do you want me to come in or do you want me to knock again? Same thing. Outside, come back in, and then you lay down the price. And then I can talk about scripting on price, but I've already given you a ton of material today. So this is, when I talked to you when we first started, I said I'm going to give you a process at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I think this will make you guys a lot of money because people are going to remember this. They're going to have collateral in their hand when you leave. They're going to know more than when you got there, and people love that. They love to understand how their home works, and they got somebody on their side who's going to help them take care of it. So, any questions on any of that? I can see, like, I know it's a long thing. You've already been here for 2 hours.
I'll put together this this two-sided thing and just run the copy by you. We'll
Sure.
work it together and then I'll get design on it.
Yeah, if you can do an
Visuals.
exploded view, you know what exploded
Yeah,
drawing
yeah.
is?
Of a house. This is a joist. This is the beam.
Yep.
Here's a pier footing. Yep.
That might even be a full second 8.5 by 11 to make
Mhm.
sure that you've got enough room.
Well, we'll have one these for pier and beam and one for slab.
Sure, but what I'm saying is you'll have a glossary front and back.
A glossary for definitions on one side and then why
And then on the
we
back,
use on this.
concrete versus steel.
Yeah, yeah.
Then probably what you've got on your hands, because you need an exploded house view, is you probably need an 8.5 by 11, a second one. because of the reason is because, and you might not even laminate it. You could probably just do a glossy. Lamination's really expensive, but a good glossy with like heavy paper,
Yeah.
maybe
Cardstock, yeah.
30 pound. Well, maybe not even cardstock. I don't know, because that's gonna get really expensive too. But if you do 30-pound paper, that's pretty resilient. That'll probably get you where you want to be if you just go full color. But I think if you've got a second piece of paper, and maybe what this ends up being is just a trifold or something, not a trifold, but like a
On a
3-piece,
brochure. Yeah.
Yeah.
like a full 8.5 by 11.
Mm-hmm.
But if it is that case, you've got to go through it with them, because if you just hand it to them, they'll put it down and go back to the the whatever. Like go.
I think the key is to review it during when you sit down and you say, okay, you have that bit of paper. Now that's why that's the here. And that's
Exactly. Well, but if they've read it first, you're gonna get a lot more value out of it, because
Yeah.
now they've seen it twice.
yeah.
And so what I would be doing is like this, kind of borrow your notebook. So obviously you're not handing them 100 pieces of paper, but it's like, hey, I'm gonna go out and do my exterior inspection. This is what we give to every customer. It's yours to keep, but this is gonna define a lot of terms we're gonna be going over here in just a little bit as soon as I finish my inspection. And so please read it, because it makes that process go a lot faster for you. Okay, I don't want to take up any more of your time than I have to.
Right.
And so this is this actually shows you a diagram of how a house works. And so you'll understand how the foundation works and what we're actually going to be doing for you. So that's the way I would do it. Because I want to build as much value in that thing as possible, because I want them to read it. But if they read it, they're going to keep it.
Mm.
If they don't read it, they're going to throw it away, because it's going to feel like junk mail. All the other junk mail they throw away. So but again, that's kind of what I see. I've seen you guys in action, and you do a great job. Like I've told all three of you, if you just keep doing exactly the same thing you're doing right now, you're still going to win, because you deliver too much value. It's impossible to overcome that. That's why you're already selling. You deliver a ton of value, and you do a good job of it. If you just add this,
Yeah, and I think the emotion, like getting to people's emotions, we might be able to avoid some pitfalls. You know, if we really drill into this lady's main problem is this door, and we don't make it clear to the crews that this door is why we're here, and it's not transposed, then we're gonna miss.
yeah, I just thought of this. This might be really effective for you. Is back in when I was doing car sales, they trained us to not even talk about the dents. Just reach over and touch them.
Yeah.
And once you touch them, the customer will start talking about them. And it's a fast way to get right to the issue, you know.
Yeah.
So I talked to Simon about me pitching for you guys in the house. How do you feel about that? So you would be the technical advisor, because you know how to use the equipment and everything. And so the pitch would be, hey, Mr. Customer, I'm Kyle with QFR. This is Marco. I'm kind of still learning the ropes, so he's going to be handling the technical side of things. Nice to meet you. Tell us why that's the way it would go. And so basically, I'll be modeling a lot of this for you. You all right with that?
Yeah, I'm cool with
Okay.
it.
What'd you
Do my
say?
job.
I'm
I'm
cool with
cool
that.
with
Okay.
I was
Just
just
gonna-
Free sales and shit.
Do I give you strike my position if you sell the job? Yeah.
I'll go out. We can tag team. I'll set up the line. I know exactly how that thing works.
So Riley's out the rest of this week, but these guys, will you get with each other and
I think
work
you-
out the best bits to go on?
You texted us yesterday?
Yeah,
I did.
my Thursday was really good.
Your Thursday looks good?
Yeah,
Okay,
I don't know what
perfect.
your schedule looks like.
Ask you something.
Well, y'all have my mornings. My mornings, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday are already set aside. So
Okay.
anything from 9 to, appointment time would be 9 to 11.
Yeah, yeah.
Because Thursday is the only day that I need to be done by,
It's
I really need to be in my truck with the
Okay.
drive at 12 o'clock.
It may just be two with these guys this week.
You can
Okay,
tell the
you're
garage
not gonna have anything you don't
first
Okay.
slab and then the home. Right?
Perfect.
Wasn't a porch.
Well, I did really enjoy that bit the other day. Apart from standing in the dog shit, that was the worst part.
I'm surprised out of all the yards we walked in, you're the only one.
Unbelievable.
That's it.
Hasn't happened in years.
Yeah.
Because this.
I have an 8 a.m. tomorrow.
There's some.
Oh,
sort of-
really?
There's some sort of.
Yeah, but I don't know how you feel
It's
about
like
this.
seven-
The lady saw us working, and I guess maybe she talked to my neighbor because we just finished a house right next to
I've
hers.
never.
Uh-huh.
And so I don't know if that's kind of a biased.
I just don't
That's the
think I can
best
get there by
response,
8.
right?
That's the only thing.
Yeah.
But
I
You're
meant
probably close
to
that.
ask you guys this earlier. So, have we implemented anything like the Cloverleaf
The referral sheet?
referral or the referral program Have you been?
I mean, I have 2 jobs right now that I'm doing on one street, and the guy just asked me today. I got an updated engineer's plan that's gonna add more piers, and he was like, I mean, we're all on the same street. I mean, I can refer other people. I mean, how's that gonna work? Like, are we just gonna go back and
If he knows his neighbor, just a warm introduction. Hey,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wouldn't mind a warm
I think what he's
introduction.
saying though, he's like, give me a lower price.
Yeah, he
the way I
would.
always did that is like, hey, look, we'll give you the price. We'll pay you this much per.
For referral.
Yeah,
referral?
per
Yeah,
whoever signs up.
Yeah,
we'll,
yeah.
Well, we
whatever
said
it is.
25 for the introduction if you go out and do an evaluation for anybody he refers, and then $100 for every job that you get.
Okay.
Yeah, and that,
I
that
like
way
that idea.
it's money back in their pocket. Where
Marco, would you check that? If it's still running, would you stop it?
Yeah, it is.
Thank you, sir.
but like today when I went out to Alex's job, the house across the street from